I felt I needed something to like get me outside of my own mind. I think like we're all spending a lot of time in our own worlds at the moment, which like I love, but it just forced me to like not think too much and just do. And especially I think because we only had like the week to do it, and you know you have to like film it, like come up with the ideas, film it, and then also edit it all together in that time. You're like, right, I can't hang around, I need to just do and explore. And it's like, I think it's the first time I've properly like played with music and without like overthinking my concepts. Like an idea comes and I just ran with it rather than like overthinking too much. So I wanted to take part because I just felt like I needed an outside stimulus for a change, and like to not sit in my thoughts too much and just do. When I opened my email, I was like, oh God, I was like, I don't know that song. And then I listened to it and I was like, I do know that song. I wouldn't normally create to it. So I was a bit like, oh crap, like what the hell, how am I gonna do this? I had to stop myself overthinking it and just like listen to it and zone out of like my mind. Like, so I spent a lot of time just kind of like sat listening to it to really like get into the actual like the track I was given. So yeah, I ended up it was a bit of a love-hate relationship, I'm not gonna lie. Like to begin with I was like, oh, I don't know how my movement is gonna sit within this, but yeah, it challenged me, and then like now I really love it and I actually can't get it out of my head. But like I found different layers within my like artistry within that, so it was a really good challenge for sure. It was, for me, it was actually quite an organic process. Like I just tried to go with the flow of it. Like I think it took me like a good day, like sitting with the song and kind of like just listening to it and like not really thinking about it, but just like when something comes to me, then like run with that. Because like I work within my own process, like I've brought in my own process traces into it, and like because the way I work with music is I have to like be able to see it. So I like did this bit, like I did a drawing of it to be able to like so I could see what it looked like to me, so then I could translate it into my body, if that makes sense, because I was like, this is so different from something I would like put into my body, so I'm going to come at it from that way. So I drew it down, and then that's how I kind of was able to then, I could see it then, and then like it sounds really weird because it's just like loads of lines on the page, but that like by being able to see it made me be able to embody it and then like translate what my initial thought was, like because it's quite a driven track, like it needed to be very like moved, like I wanted to capture this idea of movement and like the movement happening. So I think it goes this way actually, like it's just I kind of like, so when I listened to the track, it like, well, the first thing that came to me was like this idea of running and being able to like I don't know, get like the wind after the run. The process, it was quite an organic process, like it was just, I just needed to like eradicate, I want to say ego, but I don't think that's it, like just like strip everything back to actually what's in front of me, rather than being like, so what does this actually mean? Because I think sometimes like I know I can get a bit deep into it. I'm like, well actually what does this, like what is it in its rawest form, and how can I take that somewhere? I think it's difficult, like the anticipation. Like I didn't find the process difficult or anything, but I think like once I'd submitted and then you're like kind of waiting for, like, you know, you've got this week to create and you're kind of like waiting for the song, and you're like, I was quite excited to like have this purpose. And I think what I found difficult was knowing that I'd like put myself out there to receive something, but not knowing what I was going to receive. So I couldn't like prepare myself for it. Like I like to plan, and I couldn't plan. But I like that was actually, that being difficult, I think actually really helped me to strip it back, not planning and like not overthinking and being too calculated with it all. I've learned a lot about myself in like just the way that I like, you don't like, creativity is in our nature, and like creativity, like I think I've learned that creativity is playfulness, and that sometimes that's what I'm missing, is like approaching things in a playful manner rather than being like, right, this is my plan, this is what this means. Like, no, actually I just came into this with a real open mind, and like I feel like I learned to play with like producing something, and I learned to like, although like I was pressured in a sense, I had to create something by the end of it, but actually in a weird way, by coming at it thinking about being playful, it actually eradicated that pressure of having to be perfect, because then this is just like a concept that I'm playing with. And I think I've learned that actually, like, it's really healthy to have challenges where you get given something that like you're like, oh, I'm not sure that's where that sits with me, but that like actually that challenge was really beneficial, and like I want more of that now, and I want to explore outside of my comfort zone, because I think I've learned that got a very like, I've got a box that I sit in and I don't often go out of it. So this was great to like get me outside of that and to see things from a different perspective.